Hey, Coach Rye from Team Flex. We're about to break down the 2022 Wellness Olympia. Very exciting Olympia. A lot of different changes going on the wellness stage. And in this video, I want to dive into why, some competitors that were maybe favorited to place higher did not, and why the ones that placed high and won the show, as well as for all of you out there that want to compete in wellness or are competing in wellness, where the judging criteria is heading and what you need to know about how to make it your most successful season 2023, no matter what level you're at. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. Make sure you're subscribed. This will be one of many Olympia videos I do this weekend and in ongoing weeks. I got a lot of stuff to talk about with wellness and the bikini and so on and so forth. So make sure you're subscribed. First thing I want to talk about, the placings. It's just amazing to see what happened yesterday, okay? There was a lot of different physiques on that stage, a lot of different things going on with wellness overall, and like I said, when it's our second Olympia we get to see this division at, this is still meaning this division's carving out. So you're going to see a lot of variance in the athletes that show up, what they bring, and also what the judges are placing is really the biggest indicator of what they want to see in this division, moving forward. And a lot of people don't understand per se how that works, but it usually takes several Olympias, several years for a division to really take its footing. And obviously wellness existed before. It was in the NPC and the IFBB, but now it's here, and this is our second Olympia, and this is the judges, in my opinion, sending a very strong message what they're looking for, okay? So if you guys watched my other video just yesterday, we talked about Sunny and Urishna and why they place lower. And let's just look at these stats here real quick, okay? So we're on NPCNewsOnline. We're going to scroll down, look at the divisions that have gone so far. And here we are, wellness, okay? So, wellness, if you watch my prediction video, my top three is 100% correcto, okay? That's because it was just obvious to me the judges were going to pick this type of physique over some others. My fourth and fifth, which was actually Urishna and Sunny, I said that they could be in there based on their potential and what they could actually bring, but they brought totally crazy types of physiques in some way, compared to what I thought they would bring and what it was looking like they were leading into the show. They almost looked nothing on stage like they did and everything else, which is kind of what we see a lot of times with, social media and Instagram and YouTubes and stuff. But basically, they pushed their physiques too far and it landed them in some different placings. But Francielle, again, she's repeating her title. Congratulations. That's awesome. Issa Nunes moved up into second place as I predicted. Angela moved down into third as I predicted. And then we got Cassandra Gillis and Rayanne Santana. Okay, two new people in that top. That's amazing. Congratulations. Great top five. Okay, I really like the direction that the judges have pushed this so far. Down here you see Urishna. She moved into like 8th place. Honestly, in my opinion, looking at a lot of the comparisons, she could have been lower. And then, Sunny's way down here. Another, potentially top call out. I know a lot of people thought Urishna or Sunny would actually win this Olympia, and it just definitely didn't happen, not even close. They don't really they stop kind of counting after 16 here, but Sunny was not. She was in the third call out. She's in a low placing. From first call out to third is a big shift at Olympia. It's a very strong message from the judges. Okay, let's look real quick though over at the actual stage photos from finals last night. This would be our top 10, and I kind of want to review this and move into the top 4 then and talk about all of those things, but kind of give you a better idea what's going on in this top 10. Okay, so top 10 wellness from finals at the Olympia last night. Here's what I would say is primarily the reason many of these women are placing in the top 10 and not in the top 5 or higher, would have to be due to the fact that they are pushing a lot of muscularity, right? Like lower body, but also upper body, okay? We see Urishna has got a lot of this muscle going on. That's what I was talking about, right? She has really good framework to be an awesome wellness competitor from the lower body down. Like you can see, this is just wellness. Like everybody in this call out, their lower body is screaming wellness. Like you can see this. This is glutes, this is quads, this is hamstrings, this is what they want to see. But the problem, I think, became these athletes also push their muscularity too far up top. So we're seeing a lot of development to the delts, a lot of roundness to the deltoid. The biceps, the triceps looking very, very full. Upper body just overall is symmetrical to the lower body in this call is what I'm seeing, right? This top 10. And that is no. That is no for wellness, okay? Wellness, as it has been said forever, is the lower body dominant women's division, okay? So we should cut a line right here, and this everything you see below this line is wellness. This is all wellness, okay? But everything you see above this line looks symmetrical to that lower body, which is an issue because wellness should be an asymmetrical division. We should see, you know, more muscle on the lower body, kind of putting them out of asymmetry to that upper body, and that's not what we're seeing here. And I think that is specifically why, as the callouts go down, you know, we're seeing a lot more of that. And of course, you see variance in all these physiques here. That's again going to be part of the design of having a second Olympia. This, you know, still carving out. A lot of athletes are still figuring out their potential, figuring out their look, and some of them are bringing better, some of them are bringing worse. Okay, and as we look as the callouts go down, I mean, you're going to see more and more more kind of just variance in the physiques. You know, like Melissa Andrews here. You know, congratulations to her. This is her first Olympia, and she's in that top 10. That's amazing. And you know, she's placing above Urishna, right? Which is kind of crazy to think about in a lot of ways, because Urishna, you know, she was one of the first top wellness athletes we had in the States going on, and she had a lot of potential to do a lot better than she did, but I think, again, push physique way too far. Just too much muscle. That's what we're seeing all around this call. Too much muscle, looking too large, you know, and when that happens, you start to see when the conditioning takes a hit too. So we can see from the back post specifically, a lot of variance in conditioning due to the fact that there's just so much muscle. Like Urishna debatably in this lineup has, you know, some of the softer conditioning overall. And again, it's not because she is realistically off with her conditioning. It's actually probably because she has so much more muscle than you know, some of these other athletes, that she just can't even get that tight aesthetic going on stage due to how much muscle she has. So I would say literally, you know, she pushed the physique too far. That's what we'll see with a lot of athletes down in the call-up. You know, Sunny Andrews, if you guys didn't watch that video, I talked about that. I'm going to do more videos on wellness too. We'll talk a lot more about what is going on with those physiques and everything else, and do some comparisons. But realistically, you know, I want to talk about this top 10 and just give you a highlight. You'll see a lot of variance. You'll see a lot of muscle. But the main thing, I think, put these athletes in this top spot, and don't get me wrong, top 10 is great. It's because they have too much symmetry going on, okay? Because when we get over here in just a second to our actual top 4, you're going to see what wellness is really all about and what the judges want to see 100%. Here we are. So this is our top 4, okay? We have, obviously, Francielle coming back. Congratulations. Wellness champion, Issa taking second, Angela taking third, and Cassandra coming in fourth. Very nice lineup, okay? When we look at a top 4 like this, we get to see exactly what judges are sending us a message saying, okay, this is wellness. This is what it is. And you know what's really interesting, everybody watching, right? You know, this was my top 3 prediction right here, these 3 ladies. And this is the 3 ladies, in my opinion, specifically the top 2, you know, that did not push muscularity so far. That did not push, you know, conditioning so far. That did not try to come in too big, too developed, too this, too that. They really just minutely improved their physiques overall, right? They like, compared to last year, this is not crazy changes, but it's exactly what judges still want to see. You can see here that, you know, lower body is more dominant than the upper in all of these athletes, okay? And that's why this is our top 4. You can see, you know, it's not very symmetrical, and, you know, Cassandra looks a little bit more symmetrical, but she's also landing, you know, in 4th slot. So that's interesting, right? Top 2, though, you can see there's a definite change, and it might be hard to see from this front pose, but the lower body is way more developed than the upper is, specifically Issa. Like, look at that. And then Francielle, same thing, you know, not overdone in the shoulders, very dominant lower body. This is what judges are looking for. You know, a lot of people wonder about Angela. She's kind of a little bit of a wild card with her physique. It's not necessarily as, you know, similar to the other top 4 here, but she does still have, you know, she's got very developed quads, legs, glutes. That is still going to be more than her upper body in this situation. And if you're watching this, you're like, I'm not seeing it, Coach Rye. Well, wait till we get to the back shot here, and you will see a lot more of this. But just overall, looking at the frames, right, you can see the top 2 athletes in a lot of ways look to be smaller. They look to be, you know, overall less developed in the sense of muscle and even condition. They're not so far pushing that, and they are the top 2 at the Olympia. That's a very strong message from judges saying, okay, we are looking for the physique that fits what the criteria is, not the one that all the athletes are trying to push to, all these coaches are trying to push to. That's not what judges want to see. They want to see what the wellness division stands for, which is lower body dominance, keeping a softer level of conditioning and having the muscles that are full, but not pushing your physique so far, so shredded, so lean, so muscular. Okay, so let's take a look at the back shot now. Now, this is very interesting, where we get to see, again, not huge improvements, and I'll actually do a video showing you maybe these athletes from last year to this year, what changed, what didn't, but this is where we get to see exactly what I'm talking about, right? So I just mentioned that lower body is clearly more dominant on these top two, and might be hard to see in that front pose. You can see it here for sure. You can see the quads sweeping from the back. You can see the glutes so developed, they're pushing ham ties through with ease. This upper glute so rounded, so full, and then you look at the upper bodies, okay, and you're getting just a tiny little development on the shoulders going on here. So, you do have to have it. You got to have the upper body, but this is nothing compared to what's going on lower body muscle wise. Like, this is clearly asymmetrical, clearly, a message from judges saying asymmetry is wellness. Don't try to change it. Don't try to build your delts too big. We'll score you down. And that's what we see as we kind of move into third, right? Like, Angela's got some bigger shoulders. She looks a little bit more symmetrical. Cassandra definitely looks most symmetrical in this top four lineup, and she's in fourth. So again, very clear message from judges saying lower body dominance is key. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for. And when we talk about this, like, you can also see that these ham ties on these top two ladies, Francielle and Isa, very hard. You can see them, good development here. This actually doesn't come from being overly shredded, overly lean like a lot of people think. A ham tie that looks like this, that really pops 3D like that, comes from having superior muscle development. So just the fact that these two athletes have so much more muscle is why their ham ties are considerably stronger than Angela's and considerably stronger than Cassandra's here. And it's because of those exact variables. They have so much more muscle. It's really the indicator to say they have that glute development, that quad development, that hamstring development, and they met conditioning. They're not super shredded, but they still have that really hard line ham tie. It's because they have so much more muscle. So clearly, again, if we look at it and we think about it and we reverse engineer it from what judges are thinking, that looks to them more muscle asymmetry, and you can see it in every single pose. And again, it's a really good look for wellness. I'm really glad that these top two athletes are in here taking this. This is the it's kind of like the flagship for where we're going in 2023 with wellness. You want to make sure you're focused on that lower body. You want to make sure you're constantly in that asymmetrical zone. You don't want to be in the spot where you're building too much muscle upper body. You don't want to be in the spot where you're getting symmetrical, and that is being pushed at a lot of levels right now. But again, the Olympia is the criteria. It's where the judges make that line. So for all of you out there competing in wellness, I would strongly consider making sure that you are continuing to progress your physique in the right way to fit the criteria of the division. Don't be looking at your favorite pros all the time, trying to think, what this and that. Don't be looking at certain people thinking, okay, well, she's really jacked, she's really developed. It's the wrong thing to do. Figure out the look for your physique, what's going to be best, and really focus on lower body dominance if you want to do wellness. But this is, again, really good. 2023, we're going to move into wellness, really taking shape now because, again, this is a similar top to last year. This is judges making that clear statement saying this is what we want. We're not trying to change this. We're not going to change this. Wellness is what it is, and this is how you need to train for it and what you need to look like. So, again, very exciting call out, very exciting Olympia overall. Hope you guys are watching today. I'm doing more videos on wellness here shortly. We're going to talk a lot more about specifics into the physiques and really what's going on with these different athletes and why some of them placed higher, some did not, and we will talk more about that in some future videos. So make sure you are subscribed. Thank you for watching. Coach Rye is out.